What's up, entrepreneurs? We are here with another edition of Idea Pros Live, and today we're talking about the top 7 excuses that can kill your idea before you even start. In case you're wondering if you have a chance of even getting your idea off the ground, today is for you. And guess what? We've got Mike Corradini in the house. Hi, Mike Corradini.
Hi, Laura. How are you today?
I am great. And for those of you who don't know, Mike is the co-founder and CEO of IdeaPros, and he is here today with his entire business development team to reveal to us the top and main reasons entrepreneurs fail before they even get their idea off the ground.
IdeaPros is absolutely obsessed with helping entrepreneurs succeed. And oftentimes, we have entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs that approach us, and we find that there's a belief system many a times that's the barrier between where they are today and where they'd like to go. And since entrepreneurship is the ultimate equalizer, we felt it would be valuable to share with everyone today, Laura, what those top excuses are that we see time and time again, so that we can hopefully help more people empower themselves and start the amazing journey called entrepreneurship.
Well, these are really important. So let's get these people through. What's stopping them?
Yeah, excellent question. So there's 7 main excuses, and what we're going to do is do a countdown format today, starting with excuse number 7. So the very first excuse we're going to have covered by Grant, and I'm going to bring him on in just a moment. But a lot of times entrepreneurs, they don't have experience. Maybe they've never started a business before. And so the excuse that comes about all the time is really that they don't know what the heck to do. Very common and expected. So let me switch this to Grant. Hello, Grant.
How's it going, Mike?
Wonderful. Excuse number 7.
I can't do it on my own. And guess what? I graduated with a degree in entrepreneurship, and I've been helping entrepreneurs for over 4 years now, and I wouldn't even try and do it on my own. If you're watching this right now, you probably realize that you're a fish out of water, and that's the whole reason why we started IdeaPros, was to help entrepreneurs just like yourself. And I want people to think about this for a second, but when was the last time that you saw somebody accept an award and not thank other people? Right? I mean, anybody who's been successful has had a great team behind them, and having a strategic partner can be all the difference in the world. So you don't have to go through the trials and errors that we've pretty much already gone through for you.
So many people out there don't have any experience, but again, that's why you came to IdeaPros, or why you should come to IdeaPros. So excuse number 6, we're going to have Justin help us with. And a lot of times you'll see an idea or a version thereof already out there on the market. And another one of the excuses that we see all the time is people not pursuing their idea, Laura, because they've already seen it out on the market. And so welcome, Justin. If you can help us discuss excuse number 6.
My idea has already been done. And let's look at Google, for example, or the iPhone. Google obviously wasn't the first search engine, nor iPhone wasn't the first cell phone. But could you imagine if either of those projects had such a limiting belief of my idea has already been done? So I guess that's exactly why we focus on private focus groups, or end user research and surveys, and figure out how to create something unique enough and different. And that's why we do what we do.
Absolutely, Justin. I mean, I myself have an iPhone and I use Google every day. So to Justin's example, having something already out there is no excuse to not follow your dream. The mindset that you want to have is that you can always pivot, you can always improve upon, you can always make a solution better. So just because somebody else is already out there, don't let that be the reason that you don't become an entrepreneur. So the next one that we have, excuse number 5, Laura, we're going to have Scott help us with this one. And what we have found is that a lot of times people they start really inspired about their idea. And what tends to happen is, they talk to other people. And as you can imagine, not all opinions are equal. In fact, opinions are entirely different than advice. And so, Scott, if you could help speak to that excuse a little bit. Excuse number 5, somebody else telling you you can't do this. Take it away, Scott.
I'd love to. So you have kind of an option when this happens, and you can either listen to those statements, or you can follow your dream. Steve Jobs was quoted as saying, they say you're crazy until you're not. What makes this the most difficult is a lot of the people closest to you, your peers, your family, your friends, these are the people you're going to hear this from. And that makes it a little bit more difficult to focus on the ultimate dream. But that's the nature of starting something new. And really, to conclude, I will say one thing, and I'm going to give you a quote, and then I'll tell you who said it, or who it was about. He was told he was lacking imagination and had no good ideas. And that was Walt Disney. And we all know how that turned out. So stay focused, believe in your dream, and don't let anything get in the way.
Beautiful, Scott. Well said. Absolutely. And just like I have an iPhone and use Google, I was in Florida last month at Disneyland. So again, every idea is crazy until it's not. If it doesn't seem a little bit crazy that you're going out and doing something original, then it probably isn't a good idea. If you really think about it, there needs to be a little bit of a craziness factor, if you will, to your new entrepreneurial venture.
And wouldn't you agree that a lot of people mean well? They don't want you to get hurt, and it's okay, but you gotta stick with your vision and all that.
Absolutely. They want to protect you, Laura, but oftentimes they're not a business owner themselves. And so that's why you really need to understand an opinion versus advice. And it's a major distinction.
And I know we've talked about that as well as the previous one on previous live streams, where you've talked about, okay, there's been Friendster and MySpace, so why would Facebook ever succeed, right? They did it better, they did it different, they talked to a different market. So no idea is perfect for everyone, but that's why IdeaPros is so powerful, helping you pivot, like you said, to the right idea for the right market at the right time.
Absolutely. And so the next excuse, Laura, that we see would-be entrepreneurs as well as existing entrepreneurs make time and time again is their perception of, what they should do first. And we're going to have Jerry talk about this next excuse. And so let me turn it over to Jerry so that he can share with you his take on excuse number 4.
I just need a patent, not a business. We receive thousands and thousands of calls a month. And one of the biggest misconceptions that we see and hear is that most people think that having a patent is going to give them the best chance of success. I'm here to say that that is incorrect. Most people that want to focus just on a patent, what that means is they really don't truly believe that they can actually run a business. If you think you're going to get a patent and you're going to sit back and checks are going to come in the mail, it's not going to happen. If you believe that solely having a patent is going to generate success, you're not looking at the big picture. And it's very, very important to look at that big picture.
Absolutely, Jerry. So common for people to think that all they need to do is get a patent and it's game over, right? I can retire yesterday.
Right.
But it's not about getting a patent. It's about building a business and a solution. It's just so important for entrepreneurs to understand that the first step to take is not acquiring a patent. You want to find a product market fit first. If you patent your very first raw, rough idea, it very likely isn't going to be what you go to market with anyway. So think about that before you have a patent attorney tell you that that's what you should be doing, when patent attorneys typically have no clue how to monetize the patent, right?
And in fact, we've done several blogs on that. I put them in the comments for everyone to check out, because if you don't understand why you don't need a patent yet, read those articles because you may be jumping the gun way too soon.
Absolutely. Cart before the horse, as they say. So excuse number 3 that we constantly hear, Laura, we're going to have Joe cover this one. And, everybody's afraid of risk. Risk is such an interesting word, and it really comes down to your mindset on it. So let me turn this over to Joe, and he can talk about excuse number 3.
Excuse number 3, starting a business is too risky. Mike, if everybody that started a business, that wanted to start a business, thought that it was going to be too risky, nobody would do it, or everyone would have one. So Les Brown said it so great. He said, if you want life to be hard, do what's easy. If you want life to be easy, do what's hard. I mean, life's full of risks, but the biggest risk is not taking.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better, but I'll probably say it again, Joe. Yeah, I mean, the biggest risk in life is not taking one. That should be your mindset when you're considering whether to start a business or not. If you want to play it safe your whole life, you know the results that you're going to get. That risk factor, if you will, is what keeps most people out. And the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. So it's really important, Laura, that everybody listening today really is looking at risk from the right perspective, because risk is a good thing. It's the only way really to get ahead and to achieve your dreams. No risk, no return, no reward.
Risk is inherent in life too. It's just a part of it, and it's about managing it and going for it if you have a big enough dream.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you're married, you took a risk, right? If you drove to work today, you took a risk. Risk is inherent to every part of life, just like you were saying. You just need to know how to drive that car. So excuse number 2, we're going to have Ken cover. And excuse number 2 is a really important one, Laura. Too often people come to IdeaPros and they expect us to make them successful. And we see this all the time. And so it's really important that people understand the dynamics of this. And so, Ken, if you could speak to excuse number 2.
Someone else will make me successful. We're looking for partners we can show the ropes to, someone who believes in their idea, so they can take over and grow the company, when the time is right. We're betting on you. Okay. Look at it this way. We build the Formula One race car and you drive it. So ultimately, Mike, success is on you. Can we count on you?
Absolutely. And I think that this point can't be overstated, is that we're going to mentor you, right? We're going to show you exactly what you need to do, but ultimately you're going to have to run the ball into the end zone. If you're looking for someone to make you successful, then you're not going to find that, right? That's what we call a get rich quick. Nobody out there is going to make you successful. Success is up to you. And part of our challenge, Laura, is finding people that can convince us that they're gonna follow the lead that we provide them, and that they're going to take the bull by the horn, and they're going to do what needs to be done once we've created a well-positioned business for them, using all the evidence-based approaches that we use in order to get the very best product market fit. But like Ken said, ultimately, we can build you the best race car in the world, but you're going to have to drive it. And it's important that you understand that that's empowering. You want to be in the driver's seat. If you think you're going to sit around and just let somebody else make you successful, once again, this is an excuse that we need to dispel right here and now, because that's the wrong way to look at starting a new business.
And I love that analogy as well as the football analogy. I mean, I have this picture of one of the teammates handing the football to the, passing or handing off the football, and then to you, the entrepreneur, to run it into the end zone and make that touchdown, right?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we need you to do. But don't worry, once again, if you've never done this before, we will mentor you and make sure that you know which direction to run.
Yep. You got the team behind you, right?
Absolutely. And so we've gone all the way down from 7 to 2. And what we have now, Laura, is the number one excuse that we hear here at IdeaPros as far as why somebody doesn't pursue their idea. And we're going to have Rob cover this excuse. And, money is a very interesting thing. Investing is a very interesting thing. And so I'm going to let Rob speak to this and share with everybody why you shouldn't let money stop you from achieving your dreams. The number one excuse.
What if I lose my investment? Mike, investing in yourself is the best investment you could ever make. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, well, simply put, you're just going to get what someone else thinks you're worth in life. I think money is a very emotional thing for most people. That's what usually clouds everyone's judgment. So I suggest all the entrepreneurs out there that we're talking to and that are watching, if you really want to change your life today, face that fear. Don't be average.
Absolutely. Most people, it's interesting, Rob, they'll invest in a stock or a mutual fund, all these various instruments where they have absolutely zero control of the outcome, and they might get a marginal return, 6, 7, 8%, sometimes higher. But the point is, you can bet on somebody else to manage your money or another company to manage your money and grow it, or you can bet on yourself. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts, just like Rob said, the very best investment you can make in life in yourself, whether that's your education, whether that's in your new business, whether that's in mentorship, to develop yourself as a person. Everybody started from the same place. Everyone was a beginner at one point. And I can tell you, Laura, just like when you started your business and Fred and I started this one, well, Fred and I have started many as you have as well, but let's say the very first businesses we started. Were we scared of losing our money? Absolutely. That's expected. If you're feeling that way, know that you're completely normal. You're a human being. And that's the whole idea. Back to the risk analogy we were talking about earlier, the biggest risk is not taking one, not betting on yourself. So don't let this excuse hold you back. You're worth the investment.
And what I love about IdeaPros and what you're talking about here is there's options for entrepreneurs to get more confidence, to get more experience behind them, to get a team, a super venture partner, for example, involved with them to set them and position them as powerfully as possible.
Absolutely, Laura. So we've gone through the 7 biggest excuses that we see people make and as far as killing their idea before it's ever born. And what we're going to do now is have Cody, our head of partnerships, talk to you a little bit about what we look for in a partner, because at this point, hopefully all of your excuses have been extinguished. And so now we want to talk about what it actually takes to work with IdeaPros to see if you might be a fit for us. So let me turn this over to Cody and he can share that with you next. Cody, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here today and pleasure to hear the topics being discussed. These are real life things that hold people back, and it's fantastic to address them. As far as what we do in looking for partners, there's 3 main categories, but I can try to speak for myself mainly. The first thing I look for are partners who are so bright that we do have to wear shades. So we really are looking for the best of the best. But in all sincerity, there's really three main categories that we're looking for. We're looking for the right project. IdeaPros isn't really looking for an uphill battle. It's something that needs to make sense. And it's okay if it has rough edges or it's not perfected, because that's the process we go through. And even if you have everyone around you who tells you it's a fantastic idea, you can't solely rely upon that. There's a lot of research and data that needs to be gathered in our evidence-based approach. So I wouldn't be too self-critical about that. Feel free to call in and talk to us about that, and we can really address the initial concerns you may have about that and see where we can go from there. The second thing that's really important is the partner. And why that's so critical is because although it's possible to pivot projects and products and apps, it's not so easy to pivot people, as our correctional institutions can show sometimes. But in all seriousness, you have to have the right person who's a pleasure to work with, and somebody who's truly motivated and open-minded to doing things the best way possible. The third thing that we look for is somebody who's willing to help out with the hard costs that are incurred in the project. A lot of times we refer to this as having some skin in the game. And so we've had partners who we've worked with to actually bring investors in their behalf to the table to do the project. So if you're in a position where you think money is your hurdle, definitely don't let that hold you back. Give us a call. We'll talk about what we can do to help you in that regard and give you the proper guidance. Just as much as we were speaking about earlier, that literally the best investment you can make is in yourself, and you're going to have to get more than your toe in the water to make anything happen. So I know with our partners, they really wanted to do their diligence and make sure that everything made sense. And because of that, they could see that IdeaPros more or less was a no-brainer for them. And so I'm really proud of our partners in that regard. And it's very exciting to see all the projects that we've done to this point.
Well, thank you, Cody, for going over that and explaining it. And just to kind of touch on what you shared, life is too short to work with difficult people. So it is more than just the idea, Laura. It really is the person as well, because we're going to be spending a lot of time with you, helping you and mentoring you. And if you're not a pleasure to work with, you know, there's plenty of other people that are going to be much easier to help. And so you have to be open-minded. You can't have any ego. You know, you have to know that you need help. Otherwise, it's nearly impossible to help you. And when it comes to the capital, you know, bottom line is it's always going to take money. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And so, like Cody was saying, you know, you have to be willing to put some skin in the game, because with or without us, folks, it's going to take money, period. Luckily with us, we help reduce not only the money, but also the time that it's going to take for you to launch your project. And at the end of the day, is it scary? Absolutely. But is it worth it? That's really what you should be focusing on. It's absolutely worth it. You can either make excuses, Laura, or you can make money. But the thing is, you can't make both.
Mike, you've got just such a robust system to helping entrepreneurs that it's almost a no-brainer to go with a super venture part. And you know what? I haven't seen anything else out there like what you all are doing. You're not one of those other kinds of companies that just kind of, you pay a lot of money to and you don't get much for it. No, you do a lot of the work, a lot of the work.
If there's one thing I can really impress upon people more than anything, again, is to really check your belief system. Because a lot of times people tell themselves lies. They believe these stories. And that's really, if there's anything you take away from this Facebook Live today, is really question those stories that you've been telling yourself, because they are most likely what's holding you back from really achieving what you're capable of. And so, in short, if you change your belief system, then you have the potential to change your life. If you hang on to your belief system, then you're going to keep getting the same results, and you're going to keep spinning on that treadmill, that mouse wheel, what have you. And so that's really the inspiration that I wanted to bestow upon people today, is don't let excuses hold you back. They're nothing more than an artificial barrier that you're more than capable of overcoming. And don't wait either. I mean, the last thing you want to do is let somebody else beat you to market. That's the worst possible thing you can do. And so we'd love to learn more about you as well as your project. And so if you feel like you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur, apply with us at IdeaPros.com. I suggest you go there right now. You know, don't make an excuse, right? Maybe that's excuse number 8, right? Don't wait. Take action today. Put yourself in a position where you and your family can have a better life.